This morning, there is growing momentum at the Capitol against the Texas lottery.
Do you think there might be the votes in the legislature to get rid of the lottery?
I have yet to talk to a legislator that says, oh, we can't do that.
State Senator Bob Hall with new legislation that might impact it, and why he feels confident that the Ten Commandments could return to Texas classrooms. The shrinking federal government, it could lead to rising crime in Texas. Dallas County District Attorney John Creuzot on the programs at risk if the cuts continue. The search is now narrowing for the next chancellor of Texas A&M, and you will recognize some of the prominent political names. Plus, the votes are finally there in the State House for school vouchers. We're going to talk about what comes next.
Inside Texas Politics with Jason Whiteley starts now.
Good Sunday morning, I'm Jason Whiteley. Welcome to March here. We're going to start this month with what's happening politically across our state. A significant breakthrough at the Texas Capitol right now. There are now enough votes in the Texas House, Republicans say, to get school vouchers approved. 76 Republicans now on board. They only needed 75. The details, though, will still need to be debated, like how much money students would get and whether any child would take priority over another. The search has narrowed now for the next chancellor of the Texas A&M system. Regents have drawn the list down to 5 people, according to the Texas Tribune. State Comptroller Glenn Hager, Congressman Michael McCall, State Rep Trent Ashby, A&M Foundation President Tyson Vocal, and University of Alabama President Stuart Bell all made the list. A&M Regents expected to name the finalists likely sometime next month. The current chancellor, John Sharp, he is retiring. And public universities like A&M, they stand to lose hundreds of millions of dollars if they don't remove DEI from their campuses. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick threatening those cuts right now. He said it would happen unless they, quote, kick DEI out of their schools. State universities cannot raise tuition to make up the difference. That remains frozen by Governor Abbott. We're now watching to see how the schools respond. Let's start this morning, though, in Austin and the complete political mess that the Texas lottery is in right now. The Lottery Commission had apparently usurped state law, lawmakers say, and let private companies sell lotto tickets online. One commissioner has resigned, and the question this morning, will the Texas lottery even survive? Public schools got almost $2 billion from it last year. This morning, State Senator Bob Hall does not sound too confident about the lottery's future. But we're starting with him with our conversation on his new bill to hang the Ten Commandments in Texas classrooms. Senator Hall, glad to have you on the program here. Let's talk about Senate Bill 10. You're part of a group of senators who want to bring the Ten Commandments back to the classroom. I've been around for a few minutes like you. I've seen this effort before. Why do you think you might have better luck this go around?
Well, I think, as you know, what's constitutional is determined more by like 9 people at any one given time than what's actually written in the document. And recent decisions by our Supreme Court indicate that some of the previous decisions weren't quite accurate, and that there is nothing unconstitutional about having the Ten Commandments in the school. And it's being done. The schools aren't paying for it. It'll be private money that pays for it. It's just allowing them to be put up. They're pretty good guidance for no matter who you are or what they talk about doing. And so I just think that I see no problem in people being exposed to the right way to live.
All of this kind of seems like it might take away parental rights for students who are non-Christian. What do you tell those parents and non-Christians who go to public schools?
Tell them that they don't have to read it if they don't want to.
Do you expect something like this would end up in court with as litigious as things are right now?
And your words are very correct. Everybody loves to take everything to court. So I will not be surprised if somebody doesn't decide they want to take this to court.
Let's talk about the lottery for a moment here. A lot of people saw Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick's expose the other day on X and saw him going into a courier service where they were selling lottery tickets. A lot of folks, myself included, I didn't realize that courier services could sell lottery tickets. You have Senate Bill 28 that's going to, if passed, outlaw this. Explain what's going on right now with the system.
Well, what we have is basically what I would consider to be a criminal operating within the state government with the way they're currently operating the lottery system. And it violates the original intent of the law. The law as originally passed required that tickets could only be sold in a brick and mortar facility that otherwise did other businesses like a convenience store. And we also found that one of the members of the commission had won the lottery himself 147 times, two of which were the $50,000 wins each week of 2 weeks in a row.
A state lottery commission member won the lottery?
Someone, yes, working for the state.
And was that allowed?
Well, that's part of our question. The entire way the Lottery Commission has been operating for the last several years was not allowed by law, but no one was questioning it. Well, I did last session. I had this bill. I passed it. Got out of the Senate, but it didn't pass in the House. I even had a rider added to the amendment that prohibited the lottery, the courier process from working, but it was just never followed.
Is the Texas lottery in jeopardy right now because it's been breaking the rules?
Yes, as far as I'm concerned, it is.
Do you think there might be the votes in the legislature to get rid of the lottery?
I have yet to talk to a legislator that says, oh, we can't do that. They say just the opposite. It's time we put an end to it.
Senator Hall, it's good to see you. I appreciate the time, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good to be with you.
All right, let's bring in the roundtable to talk about the politics of this. Bud Kennedy is here from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. I am Mitra with us from Austin at the Texas Tribune, and Bernadine Steptoe, political producer at WFAA in Dallas. Bud, let's start with you. Is there really an appetite in Austin to axe the lottery?
Well, the legislature just doesn't have to renew the lottery. It goes before sunset. You could sunset the whole thing. I think the lottery is a dead duck. There's no constituency for it whatsoever. It doesn't produce money for horse ranchers like the horse race tracks do. It doesn't produce money for tourism like destination casinos do, even a select few. It doesn't create jobs for anybody, except it makes more money apparently for people who have the inside trick on how to win the lottery.
I know, a dead duck. I mean, do you think that's likely? It does bring in $2 billion for public schools, the lotto says.
Yeah, I think that's for the general budget. Go ahead, Ian.
So yeah, that's true. And also, I think where the attention lies is really, it's going to center around a lot about what this controversy is right now, too, with this whole courier sale aspect, too. And so in addition to Senator Hall's bill, of course, you have a bill in the House that's going in a different route, sponsored by John Busey, representative, more about regulation, citing the concern about school funding, too. But then, ultimately, that's probably what's going to be in the crosshairs the most this session.
And Bud made a good point, Bernadine, that there isn't a constituency that's out there saying, hey, we need the lottery, keep the lottery.
Not yet.
You think we'll see it?
Remember last week when we talked about the lottery, one of our state representatives said that it had not come to the House as such a big issue. But you have $2 billion that's going into the public schools, and now that is an issue, the public schools. I don't see it going away. Now I see more regulation going to it. And as Senator Bob indicated, he raised this issue last session. Mm-hmm. And I think now you're going to see it taken up more. But going away, that's infusing $2 billion into the economy. I can't see it.
$2 billion runs one big urban school district, maybe. It's not. It doesn't amount to a hill of beans in the big state bill.
Well,
and Democrats hate the lottery too because it taxes the poor.
But people like it. Voters like it.
That's why it's one to watch.
Yeah.
A lot more ahead here, including this.
When we come back this morning, Republicans say they now have enough votes for school vouchers. State Rep Mihaela Plesa on the Democrats' next move. Will they stand opposed or try to have some influence? And the shrinking federal government could lead to rising crime in Texas. Dallas County District Attorney John Creuzot on what is now at stake when Inside Texas Politics returns.
An accident with a company car, truck, SUV, van, or fleet vehicle is not just another car accident. Thomas J. Henry has a team of skilled company vehicle accident attorneys ready to fight for you. And with our no-win, no-fee promise, you can get the representation you deserve without worrying about upfront costs, because you don't pay unless we win. Thomas J. Henry handles serious company vehicle accident cases and gets serious results for our clients. Thomas J. Henry. The name you know, the firm you trust.
And the princess never felt the pee, as the Summit made for a perfect night's sleep.
What was it like before? Never a mattress?
30 years ago, getting a mattress was pretty scary. Middlemen hawked spring-filled slabs, hardly fit for a dog, at prices like you wouldn't believe. And you'd barely sleep, what with bad foam and even worse support. But then, Denver Mattress came to town. They promised a better night's sleep, and they delivered. And it still holds true to this day. Denver Mattress. After 30 years, still the easiest way to get the right mattress.
Hey kids, Carly here. Weekday mornings, I show you the weather, but now it's your turn to color the weather. It can be bright and sunny, dark and stormy, or even raining cats and dogs. Just take a picture of your artwork and we'll show you our favorites on First Edition weekday mornings. Color the weather. Send pictures to colortheweather@KIIITV.com.
Sponsored by Driscoll Children's Hospital. Every Wednesday, KIII 3 News spotlights outstanding area students. The 3-star student is a special recognition for a job well done. Visit KIIITV.com and register your nomination for a chance to be the next 3-star student. Then watch Who's Made the Grade Wednesday mornings on 3 News First Edition for winner announcements. The 3-star Student Spotlight is proudly sponsored by Flint Hills Resources, Texas A&M Kingsville, Sames Ford Corpus Christi, and the Heil Law Firm. You deserve the most up-to-date information from your news source. That's why 3 News is always live. You can be assured the information you're getting from 3 News is the latest, most up-to-date information available. And when there's breaking news or impactful weather, we're on it live. We'll bring it to you first, and we'll continue to dig deep to keep you updated. Your 3 News team is on air, online, on your phone, and on your smart device. 3 News, the known and trusted news source of South Texas for over 60 years.
TV's #1 entertainment talk show is doing big numbers. Over 1,500 costumes, more than 100 stumps.
Guess what, Mark? You are so wrong.
300 plus stars a year.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome.
And 15 Emmys.
It's actually 16, humbly.
Respectfully.
Count on Live to make your morning shine.
Weekdays at 9 on KIII.
Welcome back to Inside Texas Politics. Republicans say they now have enough votes in the Texas House of Representatives to approve school vouchers. But what is the next move for House Democrats? Will they try to have some influence in this legislation or stand staunchly opposed to House Bill 3? State Rep. Mihaela Plaza is the vice chair of the House Democratic Caucus, and she represents part of Plano. Representative, welcome back. Republicans say there are now enough votes to support school vouchers. I'm curious, what is the next move now for Democrats?
Well, this bill still has a long way to go. Both bills, actually, HB 2 and HB 3, which are 2 separate bills talking about reworking the way we fund education in the state of Texas. And I know that HB 3 has a lot of co-authors on it, but this bill is still in its infancy. It still has to make it through committee, through a calendar committee. It has to have a debate on the House floor, and it's got to go over to the Senate. And the Senate version of this voucher bill and the House version of the voucher bill look very, very different. So anybody that's saying that this is a done deal is either lying or doesn't know what they're talking about.
You and other Democrats have posted on X that vouchers will gut schools, it will kill athletics and fine arts and even Friday night lights. Tell me how so.
So we have heard from our teachers, we have heard from the Texas High School Coaches Associations that they are afraid that if we roll back funding for our public schools, we are going to see massive cuts. And it's not just to our football teams. It's going to be in career and technology courses. It's going to be in robotic courses, FFA, right? And football isn't the only sports that is going to get cut. We're going to see cuts to basketball, and that's going to hurt the East Plano Panthers that went 40-0 last season, bringing home the state championship. So that's what we're trying to protect.
Have any school districts said if vouchers pass that we're going to cut athletics or at least trim it back?
You know what? Schools are currently cutting back and trimming and making those hard decisions because they are underfunded. We have not raised the basic allotment in this state since 2019. We are $13,000 short on that basic allotment, 43rd in the nation. If we wanted to fund our schools, we could have. If we wanted to make sure that kids are getting this wholesome education that Greg Abbott has promised, we could have been doing that. But instead, we want to take Texas taxpayer money and send it to unaccountable private schools in our state who are already creating programs within their schools to help kids who are impoverished get these grants and get private school education if so they choose.
If this bill is inevitable and vouchers, end up getting enough votes, do you expect Democrats are going to try to influence the bill at all, or just vote no on it altogether, or influence it and try to have some say about what it includes?
Well, Democrats are going to have some say about what it includes. And, every good debate and every good bill on the House floor is going to have amendments, and they are going to have conversations, because we need to make sure that bills like this accommodate schools all the way from McKinney to McAllen, right? And that's why we see such a big bill. And I do anticipate that Democrats will bring amendments. But once again, this is not just about Democrats. Republicans, too, have concerns about how these bills will affect their urban districts. So I'm sure we're going to see both Republican and Democrats bringing amendments to try to make this bill a better bill for their districts.
Representative, always good to see you. Thank you.
The pleasure was all mine. Have a great day.
All right, now to what's happening in Washington. The shrinking federal government could lead to rising crime in Texas. Prosecutors here say that is not hyperbole. In Dallas County, for example, it gets a little more than $6 million in grants, federal grants, to test old sexual assault evidence, investigate cold cases, and deter crime before it happens. Dallas County District Attorney John Creuzot is worrying that it's all at risk right now if these cuts continue. Here's an excerpt of our Y'all-itics podcast with him that we just released this morning. I don't want to overstate or misstate this, but $6.2 million, the results that you guys have shown that you can do with this money, how big of a deal would this be if you lost it?
Well, it'd be a big deal to us. It'd be a big deal to public safety. Would it turn the county upside down? No. But when we are making progress, you know what that does? That gets more money the next time, and then you expand. And it also tells the county next to us or beyond that or somewhere else in Texas, hey, here's an approach that's reducing crime. And so it's building. I mean, for example, Divert Court. We have 300 or so of those type courts in the state of Texas, but it started right here in Dallas County. And we took that 68% reduction in rearrest. And by the way, every dollar spent for that program, we avoided $9.34 in cost. And those were studies done by SMU, Psychology and Economics. And today we have laws that require those courts, and we have funding coming from the governor's office. And we have changed the way we look at this. We closed 15 prisons. You know how many billions of taxpayer dollars that saved? So
and inmates as well.
And inmates
who were in there.
Absolutely. So sometimes you say, well, it's only $6 million. It's only Dallas County. But when you think about the impact that has and the change in the culture of criminal justice, to look at the mentally ill and not see the jail as their appropriate place, but medicine and techniques and therapy, etc. And we can avoid that. But the thing we really avoided was another crime. And
so
that's the most important thing.
And you think the $6 million saves a lot more money?
Oh, absolutely. Everything that we've done, to the extent that we can, have done a cost-benefit analysis, and we're in the $9, $8, $7, $10 avoided for every dollar spent.
I know a diverse group of people. I know plenty of people who politically feel very differently than you do, and they love what they're seeing. They love these totals that they're seeing being cut and the job cuts that are happening and so forth. What do you say to the people who are just, sitting there, screaming, amen to the TV and clapping when they're seeing these cuts?
Well, so we've had presidential administrations who have done similar things in the past, but it's been after study and what would be the implications and where would the money, if it's not there, could the community support it on its own, et cetera. I mean, we've seen it in both Bush administrations. We saw it in the Clinton administration. We've seen this before. What this is like I said, just taking a hatchet to things and just whacking away at them without any thought as to what the implications are. Just like this. It doesn't seem, well, $6 million is next to nothing in Washington. However, when we talk about fighting crime, holding people accountable, finding out who murdered somebody, that's a big deal right here.
Have you talked to your counterparts, though? Are they worried about this, too?
All of us are concerned, yes.
You can keep up with Texas politics during the week. Subscribe to our podcast. It's called Y'all-itics. New content, fresh interviews, and episodes drop every Sunday morning wherever you get your podcasts. Up next here this morning, the roundtable is ready when we come back.
When you hear the name Thomas J. Henry, we hope you see more than just a law firm. We hope you see someone you can count on. Giving back to our community is at the heart of what we do, from lending a helping hand to showing up when it matters most. Everything we've done and everything we will continue to do is made possible by the tens of thousands of clients who have trusted us to serve them. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust.
When it comes to weather in South Texas, you need just one forecast to get it right and get you started on your day. One glance to help you understand what's going on. One team to communicate with one voice. Spend one day with us, and you'll know why we continue to be the #1 station in South Texas. 3 News, known and trusted.
At 3 News, we know weather impacts your life every day.
But some days are more impactful than others. We'll keep you informed about how weather will impact your life.
When the weather is stressful or even dangerous, the 3 News weather team will call for a weather impact day.
That means we'll let you know when impactful weather will affect you most. The impact it may have on our community.
And what you need to do right now to get ready.
Your 3 News weather impact team are the ones to count on. 3 News, known and trusted.
We know you have a busy lifestyle, always on the go. It's good to know you can still connect with your South Texas news leader through 3 News Plus. Don't have the app on your TV already? Not a problem. I'm going to show you the steps similar to if you download an app on your phone. If you're on Roku or Apple TV, search KIII and hit download. If you have Fire TV, go to your Find button and search KIII there. Hit download, open it, you're good to go. Watch us live, catch up on past shows, specials, and hey, even First Edition. It's that simple.
Hey kids, Carly here. Weekday mornings, I show you the weather, but now it's your turn to color the weather. It can be bright and sunny, dark and stormy, or even raining cats and dogs. Just take a picture of your artwork and we'll show you our favorites on First Edition weekday mornings. Color the weather. Send pictures to colortheweather at KIIITV.com.
Sponsored by Driscoll Children's Hospital. Every Wednesday, KIII 3 News spotlights outstanding area students. The 3-star student is a special recognition for a job well done. Visit KIIITV.com and register your nomination for a chance to be the next 3-star student. Then watch who's made the grade Wednesday mornings on 3 News First Edition for winner announcements. The 3-star student spotlight is proudly sponsored by Flint Hills Resources, Texas A&M Kingsville, Sames Ford Corpus Christi, and the Heil Law Firm.
All right, time now for Reporters Roundtable to put the headlines in perspective. Back with us this week, Bud, Ian, and Bernadine. Let's talk about the worst measles outbreak in a decade, Bud. It's happening in West Texas, now in Rockwall County, outside DFW in East Texas as well. How hard is it going to hit Texans, and why aren't we hearing from state leaders on this?
You know, public health officials in general are just so, they're just stuck right now. They don't know what to do. They don't know what the federal government, what Secretary Kennedy is going to say. They're stuck by people who are against vaccines over COVID, and so they're not even doing all that. The last time there was a vaccine outbreak, it was at Kenneth Copeland's church in Tarrant County. The church itself brought out vaccine clinics and put them on the campus of the church. You don't even see anybody coming out now bringing out trailers and saying, okay, we're not going to make you do anything. We're not going to call you stupid. We're not going to judge you, but here's vaccine clinics. Please come get your kid vaccinated.
And Ian, we're what, going on week 3 now going into this? Do you think we're going to see that, though?
And that's the concern. I mean, I think there's a lot, the political will isn't necessarily there to kind of, speak about public health emergencies and really kind of raise the alarm about potential spreads here too. And, the measles they're extremely, it's extremely infectious. And so, and the vaccine rate, these are health officials talking about the effectiveness of the vaccine too. And those things aren't being discussed at the level they are as we kind of get into the, we don't know where this is going to go.
And let me ask again, Bernardine, where's the leadership on this?
Well, I think they're sitting back waiting to see apparently how many more kids are going to die or get infected, because keep in mind, Texas is a large state that has a large population of anti-vaccine people. So they're not necessarily just going to jump out. I think that they're going to wait and see what comes out of the Public Health Committee. They're waiting to get directives, but it is amazing, and you can wait too long.
Yeah, you're waiting as these cases are developing here. Let's talk about the other news we mentioned earlier in the program here, Bud. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick telling universities to get rid of DEI, or we're going to get rid of funding in the budget for you. What's the next move for schools here? What do you think they're going to do?
Well, I don't think schools can do much. I think there needs to be some clarity about what DEI stands for. The Republican Party has been against affirmative action for a long time.
Sure.
But when you talk about hiring anybody who's qualified and choosing people from a pool of qualified applicants, that's not quotas. That's choosing somebody who's qualified for a job and making your choice. There needs to be more clarity on what the universities can and can't do. You can't just slap a label on every job involving women or minorities and say that was DEI.
And Bud's right. Schools don't have a lot of options here.
Right, but what they're already trying to do is also put some actual policies in places and things and faces on the real hits that this money, these cuts would have. They're talking about operations. They're talking about some course reductions potentially being impacted. At A&M, this is real money. That's $50 million for schools like Tech and the University of Houston. These are the things that the university leaders are trying to do, is to show the real impacts of how these cuts could impact us, services.
And Bernardine, is this the final stand for DEI in Texas universities?
Well, it has been moving towards here, and I think that the universities are going to get rid of DEI programs, DEI classes, anything that says DEI, because as mentioned before, money is involved, and they don't have any other recourse but to get rid of it. Where else do they go?
Yeah.
Because the legislature, they control the purses. And they're going to take away the money. So we're not going to see DEI in universities in the state of Texas.
That's what it sounds like. And you mentioned some of the background there. The Texas Tribune has a great write-up on this and kind of what's at stake and what the money is used for at A&M and at other public universities across the state. So you can find that at texastribune.org. Guys, thanks so much. We always appreciate it. And we'll see you next Sunday to take you inside Texas politics. Take care.